The bears are crying. April has come to a close, and the monthly charts reveal why Bitcoin and stocks are rising. Small and mid-cap stocks, copper, gold, MicroStrategy, and many other charts point to the next move. Bitcoin is rising. This means altcoins will follow? Is it time to jump in? The monthly charts for altcoins reveal the truth. Tune in to find out. Trading tips for everyone, covering all markets every week with Altcoin Wonderland.
The opinions and views expressed on this channel are strictly personal and do not represent financial advice. Always do your own research before making any decisions.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today is May 8, 2026, and we just closed the month of April. And let me tell you, the bears are not happy right now. So what exactly did April show us? Why are Bitcoin and stocks pumping? Which charts really matter? And at the end, we'll talk about altcoins. Should you jump in now, or is it still too early? Let's start with the big picture. Look at the S&P 500 on the monthly chart. April delivered a massive bullish candle. It broke structure by closing above the previous monthly highs from 2025 and 2026. That's very strong. It tells us we're likely heading higher in the coming months. The small and mid-cap stocks did even better. They held their 2021 and 2024 highs, then exploded upward with a powerful monthly close. Same story, clear break of structure. That's very bullish. Even the micro-cap stocks, the tiniest companies, showed the same strong momentum. When money starts flowing into the smallest and riskiest stocks, it's a clear sign there's plenty of liquidity in the market. People are feeling confident and willing to take big risks. The Nikkei in Japan also closed the month positively and broke structure. That's important because it reduces worries about the Japanese carry trade suddenly unwinding and crashing US markets. Liquidity is ample out there. Small-cap financials ETF, which tracks small regional US banks, had an incredibly strong month too. They closed above the highs of 2018, 2021, and 2024. When even small banks are running like this, it shows money is flowing freely. Now look at high-yield corporate bonds, HYG. When these risky bonds perform well, it means investors are moving money into riskier assets. You can see the strong correlation with Bitcoin, orange line for BTC, purple for HYG. They tend to move together. This setup suggests Bitcoin should continue higher, especially as we head into summer. Another great sign: consumer discretionary stocks, the fun, non-essential stuff for the consumer, are starting to outperform defensive stocks. This chart has formed a bullish Morningstar trading pattern, suggesting a bottom formation and that higher prices are more likely than lower. That's exactly what you want to see in a risk-on environment. People are spending again on things they want, not just what they need. High volatility stocks are beating low volatility ones. The month of April closed above the previous months, giving us a break of structure. The smallest 600 mid-cap stocks that are growth-oriented are beating the value-oriented stable stocks that perform better in uncertainties. All of these monthly charts closed strong and broke structure. They're all telling the same story. Money is rotating into risk. Copper versus gold also had a very strong April close, higher than the previous 2 months. This ratio is a classic measure of economic growth expectations. When copper beats gold, the market expects better growth and more liquidity. And historically, when this chart rises, Bitcoin usually follows. Even the risk of escalating geopolitical events looks calmer for now. Lockheed Martin, one of the biggest defense stocks, sold off hard in April. We should expect some months of flat action and a bottom forming on this chart. That weakness often suggests tensions might ease a bit in the coming months. Now let's talk about Bitcoin itself. On the monthly chart, April closed above 50% of February's candle. That creates a clear bullish Morningstar pattern, a classic bottoming formation that often leads to higher prices. Bitcoin versus gold looks even stronger, which also validates the bullish thesis. Bitcoin versus the VIX, stocks volatility, or other words we can say it is, market fear, also printed a massive bullish candle and formed a strong bullish formation called bullish fractal. Also, we touched a key trendline that has marked major bottoms in the past, like bear market bottom of 2015, March 2020, yen carry trade unwind in 2024, Trump tariffs in 2025, and now with geopolitical events of 2026. Every time it hits that line, Bitcoin has bounced hard, and at the least it has marked a regional bottom. MicroStrategy, which is the biggest buyer of Bitcoin for its treasury, has formed a massive bullish fractal, and Marathon Digital, who is one of the biggest Bitcoin miners, also shows a strong bullish monthly close. They're confirming the strength we see in the market. Even stablecoin dominance, USDT plus USDC, is dropping on the monthly chart and forming a bearish morning star. When dollar dominance in crypto falls, it's usually very good for Bitcoin and crypto. So here's the key question. Bitcoin is pumping. Does that mean it's finally time to rotate into altcoins? Let's break it down honestly. Before I do, guys, it would be a big help for the channel if you could subscribe with the bell button on, like, share and comment. This will help us grow and bring you more quality content. Thank you. First, the total crypto market cap, including Bitcoin. This chart looks strong, very similar to Bitcoin's chart with a clear strong bullish morning star pattern. But when we remove Bitcoin and look at total 2, every crypto except BTC, April closed near or slightly below 50% of February's candle. Weaker than Bitcoin, total 3, which shows everything except BTC and ETH, is even weaker. We can see that April closed even lower than 50% of February's candle. And the smallest altcoins outside the top 10? Weaker still, also similar closure of April below the 50% mark, which suggests a much weaker bullish formation than Bitcoin. On the altcoins versus Bitcoin chart, the altcoins outside of top 10 compared to Bitcoin, we can see April closed lower and formed a bearish morning star. It still hasn't reclaimed the middle of its range. That tells us altcoins are likely to underperform Bitcoin over the next 1 to 2 months. Bitcoin dominance also closed higher than the past 6 months and looks ready to push towards 64 to 65%. When Bitcoin dominance rises, altcoins usually struggle. Bottom line, right now, Bitcoin is king. It's the strongest horse in the race. There will always be a few strong altcoins that do well. Hyperliquid is showing strength, for example, but for most alts, it's still early. I'd rather stay focused on Bitcoin for now and wait for clearer signals before rotating heavily into altcoins. If you want deeper analysis, check out my previous Thursday episodes. I covered institutional money flows into Bitcoin and stocks, plus my full outlook and plan for Bitcoin through the rest of 2026. One last thing before I go, protect yourself online. We use Proton VPN to keep our crypto and data safe. Fast speeds, great for trading. Link in the description if you want to check it out. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you entered altcoins yet, or are you still mostly in Bitcoin? What's your view for the rest of 2026? Follow us on Twitter for updates we don't always share here. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.